Hello everyone and welcome back to Hill 314 as we witness the ongoing German efforts to capture the high ground and the equally desperate US attempts to hold them off. So the situation when I last left you was that the Germans are continuing to build up their heavy equipment as they'd done before. Their mortars have not yet begun to fire, but they have ranged in on their targets, or at least they've calibrated in. I don't know whether the targeting marker actually represents a few ranging shots being thrown. But either way, if the Germans get another mortar card, then life is going to get very awkward over there very soon. On top of that, they've been pressing their advance on both flanks. Their infantry have actually infiltrated the US lines here and here. And despite very heavy casualties, particularly on the German right/US left, they are still determinedly pressing forward. And the US troops, while they're holding their own, are also feeling a sort of a mounting sense of desperation, I'll say, as they try to hold the Germans back. So just a reminder of objectives. The Germans win instantly if they take control of any one of these three locations. The US win instantly if they can pin the Germans by eliminating all their riflemen. So let's see how this plays out. So the Germans still have the initiative. And the last thing I did the previous turn was draw a new hand for them. So let's see what they've got. Okay. The battered C squad is still in the game, but they're not in very good condition. The German sniper's ready to come online, and so is their squad leader for Squad A. So those are pretty powerful cards, actually. In fact, come to think of it, the Germans really want to make use of all three, although because the sniper's not in play yet, I don't know. They do want the initiative. This is the problem. They need the initiative so that their men can have some effect. So maybe it is worth trying to maintain the initiative by perhaps committing the sniper for his initiative value. What about the US side? Their mortars are ready to go, and so is their sniper. The trouble is, so are two precious cards for their embattled sector down here. So tough choices for the US as well. Oh dear, this is going to be tough. I think, technically not knowing what's going on in the German hand, we really want to get some kind of counter battery fire onto the German hill. The sniper could try taking a shot at them, but it would be a very difficult shot. And that is rather tough, despite his powerful attack with 3 dice. I mean, alternatively, the sniper could be used to good effect down here. So what do we do? This is a very difficult decision, but I think given the victory priorities, the US has to focus on clearing these sectors. So with considerable reluctance, they are going to use the mortars for their initiative value and focus everything they've got that can basically fire a gun on trying to clear the Germans out of the immediate danger zone. So when we come to compare initiative, the Germans are still very much in control there. So that's of no use to the Germans, so that's going to get put down in front of me straight away. Now, Rifleman C, okay, this poor battered rifle squad has endured very heavy losses and has just been waiting for a chance to strike back at their tormentors. So they are going to try and eliminate the US. Actually, come to think of it, the more dangerous opponents, who they have to eliminate anyway, are the US machine gunners. So they are going to try and take them out instead. They need a 5 or better. That was a terrible roll for them. Okay. The gunners must be very well entrenched on that hill. And then finally, we have the squad leader for A. Now, what's he going to do? The problem is he can't really give any meaningful orders because no A cards have been played, but he can bolster, and squad A is mostly still in reserve. So what he's going to do is he's going to bring in more riflemen. He's also going to bring in some machine gunners. And that brings the German turn to an end. Oh, excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Right, so over to the United States. What have we got going on here? We've got the sniper, and we've got these brave boys among the rifles on among rifle squad C. I think I'm going to hold on to the sniper for now and see how well these fellows do. I'm going to start with the machine gunner, and I want them to suppress the German scouts. So they get to roll 4 dice, and we need a 6 or better in order to suppress them. Now, you might be wondering why I want to suppress the scouts, and the reason is they're harder to hit by virtue of being a smaller and better concealed unit, but they're just as capable of firing at and damaging the US forces. So I want that troublesome unit temporarily dealt with, and we do it. So no losses inflicted, but the scouts are now pinned by the machine gunners. Now that they're safely out of the way for the moment, I want the riflemen to see if they can't finish off their opposite numbers down there. Let's see if we can get rid of the German Rifle Squad C once and for all. We need a 5 or better. Oh no, we don't do it. That was a 4. Okay. Oh, the frustration. But it's not over yet. A reason I was holding on to the snipers was because if we failed anywhere around here, they could help out. I mean, the temptation is for them to pour some fire up there, but I think the greater point of danger is down here because scouts on their own can't take control of territory, but riflemen can. So my sniper is going to try and take them out. So we've got 3 dice. The range is 1. We're on a hill as well, so they only get the terrain benefit of 1. So, so 2, 6 or better. So the US sniper opens up, and he does extremely well. So another precious Rifleman C card goes into the German dead pile. They must be running out of men by now. They must be. But that is the last card in the US hand. And both sides have come to the end of their decks, so we have another reshuffle. So from the German perspective, things are a little bit stalled at the moment. But from the US perspective, things are not really all that much better, because the massive casualties that the US were hoping to inflict on the units they're entangled with haven't really happened. And they've also been frustrated in not being able to use their mortar, whereas the Germans are beautifully set up to start using theirs. So it could be a grim turn for the US. We'll have to see. Worst of all, the Germans still hold the initiative. So what do they start the turn with? Ooh, some rather good cards there. And again, their sniper might be available. Although that said, all these other cards are quite valuable. I think what the Germans will do, with all due apologies to their sniper, he's least likely to have any immediate impact on the battle, so he's going to be used for initiative again. The US forces, for their part, everyone there is useful, except possibly the poor platoon guide. I mean, he is useful, but he's probably going to have the least impact at the point of danger, so the US is going to commit him. And in doing so, they wrest the initiative from the Germans. Right. What are the US going to do with this precious gift now that they've got it? So they can do something with Rifleman A, and he's not short of targets. Machine Gunner C, again, got something good to turn his attentions to. And of course, the sniper as backup. So this is looking pretty healthy. I think I'll start with the machine gunner. Now, I'm not great as a card counter, so I don't really know whether there are any cards left for Rifle Squad C. So I'm going to order the machine gunner to suppress them. If there are no cards left for them, we'll soon have an inkling and we can kill them at leisure once they're suppressed. So he's going to do that. And he does it. Good old Browning automatic rifles. So all the attacking Germans are pinned at the moment. Meanwhile, over on the right flank, the riflemen are going to try and knock out those scouts before they can cause any bother. Unfortunately for me, they don't shoot anywhere nearly as well as the boys on the left flank, but I do still have my sniper. And I would very much like him to try and inflict some losses on them. Which he does by rolling a 9. So those were the scouts from Group A. So I'll have to go through the German deck to find one of their cards. Oh, there's one. So that joins the doleful and growing pile of dead German cards. Mind you, they've got plenty left where that came from, so I don't think they're overly worried yet. And that ends the US turn. So time for the Germans to get their own back a bit. Right. I see lots of offensive moves. Both of those rifle cards are going to be committed. The first one, going to move the rifleman there, and the second one is going to send them up the hill on the US right flank. And just to get us really worried, the final German card is going to advance even more riflemen from their Group B, or Squad B. So they're really piling the pressure on us now. And a lot is going to depend what both sides get in the next card draw. So the US has the initiative. Ooh, okay. Pretty useful. And the Germans. Okay. So for the US, we're still under very heavy pressure, although I would say the left flank has been stabilized by the fact that the attacking Germans, we've forced them to keep their heads down for the moment. So there's no immediate emergency there, although they're too close for my liking. But even so, we do need to win the game by eliminating riflemen. So I think we really want all these cards in play as a matter of some urgency. So this probably would mean surrendering the initiative, but I'm going to do it. Luckily for me, on the German side, they don't have great options. Those fog of war cards are beginning to tell. Scout B has not yet even been deployed, but if they simply use him for initiative, then they're still saddled with all these fog of war cards. It's a rather tricky one. So what they're going to do, reluctantly, is use a fog of war card as well, because they do need reinforcements. They do need their platoon sergeant one way or another. So cards are revealed and the US retains the initiative. So what have we got? I think we'll start with the riflemen on the left flank and see if we can kill off the German riflemen from Squad C. Ah, no, they rolled a 2. That was awful. So the Germans are keeping their heads down, but they're not out of the game yet. So shifting over to Squad B, I think as a matter of urgency, let's get the gunners there to suppress the riflemen who are over there. So 4 dice. And because we are on adjacent hills, they don't get a decent terrain bonus. So we need 6s or better. And we get them. So German Rifle Squad A have just been pinned. Or suppressed, I should say. Meanwhile, I want these riflemen here to see if they can't do the same thing. Well, not suppress, but shoot the German rifle squad that's making its way through the woods. Now that's going to be a tough shot. We need 8 or better. And we don't do it. So over to the Germans, and things are getting a little bit difficult for them now. They're going to use their platoon sergeant for his command order, and they're going to draw 2 new cards and see what they get. Ah, okay. That does actually help them a bit. So their Scout A is going to target the machine gunners. And needs a 5 or better to hit them. And they do. Okay. Ouch. Just need to find some of their cards. There we go. That goes out of play. So the US are finally suffering appreciable casualties. In the meantime, that card will reactivate the scout unit just to give the US something to worry about once more on that flank. And now they have a bit of a choice with this scout. They can either play a conceal action to fill the US deck with some fog of war cards, or they can recon to get rid of their fog of war card, or they can bring their scout into play. It's a bit of a tough choice. I think the feeling on their side at the moment is they need every unit they can get their hands on to bring more firepower in against the Americans. So they're going to play that card to deploy the scout. And hopefully they'll get some use of him. Of course, sorry, some use out of him even. Of course, by this stage of the game, unless he's going to scout any new routes, it's really just about adding firepower. So that's the end of that turn. US is clinging to the initiative grimly. Oh no, so many good choices. Who do we give up on? Well, no question, we're going to need the machine gunner on the right flank. Rats, all of these guys are pretty useful. Maybe we can do without one of the riflemen on the left, so we're going to commit him to maintain the initiative. On the German side, they really want Squad C to be able to do things. Whereas Squad B is a bit bereft at the moment and scattered, so tough choice. What do they do? They're going to commit this squad leader to try and take the initiative back. It's a costly decision, possibly, but it may be worth it. So the Germans get the initiative. They'll play the fog of war card in front of them because it's just there to take up space, really. What to do first? Question is, what should they do with their squad leader? Bolster? Maybe bolstering would be better. So they're going to play him to bolster. And the very last elements of Squad C, which are the two other machine gunner cards, are going to join in. And lastly, Rifle Squad C will finally bring their machine gunners into play on the map. Better late than never, I suppose. On the US side, let's deal with the machine gunner in Squad A first. Now, just to make sure those scouts keep their heads down, I'm going to suppress them. So we need 6s or better. Oh, just managed to do it. So we've managed to pin them all down. And now we can switch our attention back to the left flank. I'm going to hold on to the squad leader for now because I want to see what the outcome of this card is. So the rifleman is going to try and make some holes in that scout unit. And he needs 6 or better. And he does it. Good shooting. So let's find their card. So one of those goes into the dead pile. But I think I am tempted to use him to inspire that rifleman to fire again, but the odds are not that great. And with those two pinned and that group still over there, I feel we've got a bit of a breathing room. So while there's relative quiet-ish, I think I'll get him to bolster his squad. I don't think we'll need the scouts as much as the infantry and the machine gunners. So we're going to get those very assets to join in. And that ends another round. So what have the Germans got this round? Oh no, poor things. That is an absolutely terrible hand. Their guys right in the center of the action need every action card they've got. So they're just going to accept that they're probably going to lose the initiative this turn. On the US side, they have a lot of options. All of them pretty good, actually. But the question is how to use them. We definitely want the cards for Squad A and C. Squad B. Who's more valuable? Do we want the mortars? Or do we want the squad leader? I think we might commit Squad B's leader to taking the initiative. And my reason for thinking that is Squad B's assembly area is already being threatened with German mortar fire. If I leave more units there, it's just going to invite them to be, blown apart. So I think we won't overstaff the space. And I don't have any other cards from Squad B, so he can't inspire anybody. So I think it makes sense to have him just try and take the initiative for us. And for what it's worth, it's a good call for the US this turn. The initiative goes back to them. So what have we got here? On the right flank, riflemen from Squad A are going to target the German riflemen. So 5 or better. And we get them, or some of them. So one of these goes in the dead pile. Now on the other flank, I'm going to get the machine gunners to suppress those scouts again. Oh, they definitely do that. Right, they were just peeking their heads above the cover when a hail of bullets forced them down again. It's fine with me. And lastly, very, very belatedly, I think I will start that artillery duel. Our mortars are going to range in on their German opposite numbers. Now that may be a misallocation or just a general bad use of my mortar assets, but do you know what? I fancy a long-range mortar duel. So back to the Germans. The only ones who can take any actions are their scouts from Squad C. So that card will unsuppress them, which is a bit disappointing for us. And now, recognizing, well, continuing to recognize how dangerous our gunners are, they're going to take a shot at them. They need 5 or better. Ooh, that's another hit. They're doing a very good job of picking our barmen off, so that one goes. And with that, we are nearing the end of another deck on both sides. So I'm going to call this one here, but the situation overall has not changed that much. The fighting is ebbing and flowing in all the key locations. More units are beginning to get committed, particularly, well, the Germans have gained a couple more, including a machine gun unit for Squad C. We've slowly been dribbling more in, and our mortars have finally woken up. So it's going to be very interesting seeing whether either side can gain a decisive advantage in the coming turns. But I will leave that very interesting question for the next video. And just close this one by saying, as with the previous ones, thank you guys so much for following this. It's always a pleasure to have you along for the ride. I've really enjoyed and am enjoying this game, and I hope that you are too. I didn't say so in the earlier videos, but please feel free to comment, ask questions, yell tactical advice at me, because I'm sure I'm making a lot of cone-headed decisions here. So any tactical pearls of wisdom will be more than welcome. As always, I'm really grateful for your company, guys. It's so much fun when this is a shared experience, and I really look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye.